Welcome everybody. On Deck is doing something a little bit special this month. We are off deck and we are here at the Hydrangea Festival, one of the beautiful, beautiful gardens that's all around Cape Cod. I'm not going to tell you whose garden we're at right now, but you will recognize the name. With me today is Sherry Bryan, who is a master gardener I happened to meet. Come on in. I met her at the top of the driveway and I said, what exactly is a master gardener?
Well, a master gardener is someone who has completed the program. The Cooperative Extension Program in Barnstable County runs a class every winter from January through March. So master gardeners have completed a certain number of hours of training and then a certain number of hours working on our hotline. Anyone can call the Master Gardeners hotline at the Barnstable County Cooperative Extension and get advice on their garden.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. We will put that phone
we
number
all
up
have to
later
put in
on.
something like 40 hours the first year before we become Master Gardeners. We're trainees until then.
Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah, it is. It's a wonderful organization because it's all about learning. I was a little intimidated when I first applied to be a Master Gardener.
You had a lot of experience before that, I assume.
As I told you, my experience mostly consists. I mean, I had vegetable gardens, I had herb gardens, I had flower gardens, but mostly it was following my dad around in the garden. So I knew the provincial names for things, and I knew more than I thought I knew actually. When I took the class, he kept saying things, and I kept saying, "That's what my dad said."
Oh, it was that nice, and you loved it.
It's nice. I loved it.
You do. So, and you go to all the different gardens around?
Well, this particular tour is a very special opportunity to visit the gardens. We have meetings every month with speakers on particular topics. Last month, Mel Condon from the Heritage Garden came and talked about pruning hydrangeas. And of course, that was really a wonderful opportunity to learn a lot. And each month we have a speaker like that.
I'm going to join the Master Gardener Society if I can. Sherry, thank you so much for coming on, and lots of luck with your garden projects.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As I told you, we have a surprise guest today. We're at CL Fornari's home, where she has one of the most stunning gardens I've ever seen. Now, CL, this is all for the Chamber of Commerce sponsored Hydrangea Festival.
That's right. So the Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival is 10 days when private gardens are open to the public for the benefit of local nonprofits. And it's always the 2 weekends after the 4th of July. And people Cape-wide from Woods Hole up to Provincetown volunteer to have their gardens open for $5 per person per garden, and that money goes directly to the nonprofit that's sponsoring that garden.
So it's a variety of nonprofits throughout the Cape, you're saying?
That's right, from the Eastham Building Fund to the Barnstable Education Foundation.
That's where this is.
That's right.
Going. Okay.
And to Master Gardeners and Falmouth Museums on the Greens, all kinds of nonprofits have participated. And every year, new ones participate as well.
Well, your gardens, and we'll get some shots of the hydrangeas later, are certainly gorgeous. I was just wondering about all the watering and how you do it all, and you said you watered it.
There are all kinds of rules about the best time to water. The best time to water is when your plants are thirsty. So that's number one.
Water deeply, water weekly.
Yeah, that's right. So the beds, they get watered in the morning once a week, every 7 days, all right? In the morning, usually. And but my containers, I water at night because in the morning I am going somewhere.
Sure, of course.
And I don't have time. And so if I water all of the pots and the boxes and everything in the evening, I know the next day they're fine.
Everything's good.
That's right. And if it's hot weather, I might do them once a day. If it's cloudy weather, I do them every other day or every third day. So. Yeah.
Well, you gave us on our show some very good tips about pruning hydrangeas. And I started cutting them, and my next door neighbor ran over and said, no, don't do that, don't do that. And I said, I'm telling you, CL said this is the way to do it. And it was true. It worked beautifully.
Good.
Now, how about a tip on cutting all these gorgeous hydrangeas that we're seeing?
Well, if you want to cut them as cut flowers, the tip is number one, don't do it so early. Don't cut them in July because they are so new and fresh they will just wilt. That's number one.
Okay.
They last longer if you cut them later in the summer. Then always cut them in the morning and immediately strip all the leaves off because those big leaves lose a lot of moisture and the flowers are more likely to wilt if you leave the leaves on.
Okay, and that's it?
That's it.
Well, I read an article that said put them in boiling water for 30 to 60 seconds because the
I've
water
never
would
heard that.
travel up more easily.
I've never heard that. It would
Okay.
kill the tissue of the plant. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Good, because I don't want to boil water in my hydrangeas. CL, thank you. This is magnificent. We're going to take a walk around.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Please enjoy.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thanks.
We are here at our second beautiful garden at the home of Marjorie Harvey, who, believe it or not, is 87 years old, which I just cannot even believe that you're telling me the truth, but I know you are. Your gardens are gorgeous. Your hydrangeas are beautiful. I'm especially interested in your fairy gardens. Will you tell our viewers about that?
The fairy garden, I did the background, and I borrowed my daughter's fairies. She is Walpole, and she has 6 grandchildren. So she does little gardens in the woods, and she does a resort, school, and things like that. So I borrowed the fairies to come down to use for this. This is my 6th year in my garden. I started it with nothing at all, and I wanted an instant garden that bloomed all year.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have what I want, and now I have to work hard to take care of it.
I bet you do. How do you take care of all of this with the watering and everything?
Yes, that isn't too much of a problem, but it now has so that I have somebody that will come in. I will do as much as I can, and Rebecca will do the rest.
Oh, I know Rebecca. She's terrific
Yeah,
too,
she is,
right?
Yep.
Now tell me, all of the gardens have decided to make a contribution to a particular place.
Cause. Yes, my cause is Angel House, and I call my garden Angel Garden, but it's Angel House, and that is a home for homeless mothers and children. A lot of the mothers have been separated from their children, and it's a chance for them to get to know them, and the children to get to know the mothers. And it's, I just think it's an extraordinary community.
That's wonderful that you got involved with this and that you're doing this, Marjorie.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I'm so pleased to be with Mary LeClair, who works at the Housing Assistance Corporation. Could you tell us what that is and how that is going to benefit from the garden tours here?
I'd be very happy to do that. What it is Housing Assistance Corporation is our housing in Hyannis. And each one of the places who are having the hydrangea, it goes for a different organization. And we've been lucky enough to have Marjorie pick Angel House.
Uh-huh.
Angel House is one of our shelters.
She was telling us about that for homeless
Yes,
mothers
for
being
homeless
reunited.
Mothers being reunited
fabulous.
with their children. Yes, and it's a very wonderful project, and we do a lot of things as far as education is concerned, as far as childcare, and we get a person to the point where they can go out and take care of their children themselves, live by themselves, and have a home. We've had several people who have gone to community college
Oh, that's
and
great.
got to different degrees because, as you know, it takes money to raise children,
Absolutely.
especially if you're alone and especially if you're a mom alone. So, so this is one of the fundraisers that we have, and this is the 3rd time that we've had this.
Oh, it is the third
Yes,
time for you.
yes,
That's terrific.
yes.
You know, I've heard about a lot of these garden tours, festivals, etc., but I think this is the first one I've ever heard where there are all these different kinds of organizations that are benefiting
Yes.
from the money. So
Which is
I'm going to tell
wonderful.
all my friends and everyone I know, and we're going to publicize it more and more every year on TV because this is fantastic.
It is. It is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And the human services, different groups need the help.
Need the help. And you know
And,
what
you
Marjorie
know.
told me, which I think is really fascinating? She's been alone since her husband passed away, and she said the best way she got over being alone was to get involved in an
That's true.
organization like this,
That's true.
help others, and see that.
That's true. I've been working with Marjorie.
Yeah, I think that's
for years.
wonderful.
I knew Marjorie before. We both lived in the same town, and so we've been close for a long time. And I knew her husband well.
Something
Judge Harvey.
for we Cape Codders to remember as we grow older. There are multiple opportunities
Oh,
here at Cape Cod to do good for others. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You don't need to be bored on Cape
You
Cod.
don't need to be born on Cape Cod, right? Thanks.
Thank
I
you.
like that. Our third garden is at the home of George and Marsha Chapman in East Falmouth, and I am so excited because I've only had a chance to see a little bit of it, and it is absolutely gorgeous, George.
Oh, thank you.
Stunning.
Thank you.
Most important thing first, can you tell our viewers how you and Marsha met and when, and give us a little info?
We met in working in a garden center together in Tewksbury, Mass. in 1973.
And she said you've been together ever
And
since.
been together. We've been growing together ever since.
I
Pardon the
like
pun.
that. I like that. Well, you seem to have a little bit of everything, not just hydrangeas.
Yeah, we are in the industry, so we've always managed garden centers. We always bought for the garden centers, so we were prone to all the new varieties. And if we saw something that we liked, well, let's get 12 for the garden center and 1 for ourselves.
What great.
Yep. So yeah, we have a good variety of things.
And I noticed, and we'll get a shot of it later, you have some hydrangea I've never seen before called a Fuji
Waterfall. Yes.
That seems unusual.
I think that's new this year.
It is?
Yep.
Okay. Any other special hydrangeas that you have?
We have got some of the old ones, the Annabelles.
Uh-huh.
Out front, we have one in a pot. I don't know if you saw that. It's probably 6 feet tall, and it's just spectacular color.
That
It's a
pink one that's out front?
Let's Dance Starlight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just, yeah, it's one of my
That's gorgeous.
favorites.
And
Yes.
she said, your wife said that you brought it inside for the winter, and
That
now
one
it's
needs
back
to come
outside.
in. It comes into the garage for the winter, and we wrap it up, bring it in the garage, and even though it's inside, it lets us know when it's ready to go out. It starts to green up, and we bring it out.
You just bring it out.
Yep.
What a beautiful piece of property. You have grapevines in front of us. We'll get a shot of later. Do grapes really grow
Well, you
from
know,
there?
there's a story there. We have the grapevines for shade,
Uh-huh.
and I said, well, as a secondary, we'll have grapes.
Uh-huh.
But every year before they're ripe, I take them off, because if I don't, we have a family of raccoons that come and take them away.
And climb up and take them?
Climb up, walk all over the roof, so no grapes.
Oh, that's a very funny story,
Yeah.
actually. Well, your
But it's
garden
great
is
shade.
gorgeous. Thank you so very much for letting us come.
Well,
Your
thanks
garden
for
is
coming.
beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming.
At our third garden, I have found Joan Harrison, who is the founding president of the Cape Cod Hydrangea Society. So tell us a little bit about it. What should I do if I want to join?
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
You can go to our website, which is Cape Cod Hydrangeasociety.org, and we have a section that says join. We make it really easy for you.
That's great. And so all the people that have come here to this garden are making a $5 contribution.
That's right.
Fantastic. And what are you going to do with all that money?
We have a display garden at Heritage Gardens that we started about 10 years ago.
Been there. Okay.
And our very modest goal is to have the most spectacular collection of hydrangeas in the United States. There are over 1,200 varieties of hydrangeas.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, the biggest
Oh.
collection in the world is the Shamrock collection in France, and that's over 1,200 varieties.
Really, our next show. Definitely our next show.
I would think.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
But we just, what we wanted to do was, because hydrangeas thrive on the Cape, we wanted to have a place where people could go and see a lot of different varieties and get a sense of what's possible. Not just Nico Blue. Although I
right,
love Nico
right.
Blue, but it doesn't have to be just Nico Blue. For instance, we have something that is, as far as I know, unique in the world, and that is a shades of blue garden that people will say, I want cobalt blue, or I want Wedgwood blue. Everybody has these adjectives for blue,
Right.
but it's in the eye of the beholder. And so how do you find exactly the blue that you want? Well, we set up this garden. It's 14 plants in a row, from pale blue through medium blue to deep blue, identified by name, so that you can go to the garden and you can walk along and you can say, aha, there's the blue that I want, and there's the name of it, and you can go to a garden center and buy it and get the blue that you want.
That's fantastic.
And we don't know of any place else in the world that does that.
Isn't that exciting?
It is exciting.
I've been to Heritage and I've seen the hydrangea gardens, but I haven't looked at them as closely as I'm going to look now.
And not only that, but because we started our display garden, it attracted people to a national hydrangea conference 2 years ago. All the brand names, people, proven winners, Michael Durr, horticulturalist, all these people came to the conference because Heritage had a display garden. And by the end of the conference, they decided to create a hydrangea test garden that's going to test all the new varieties intensely to study, do they do well, these varieties do well on the Cape. And these are intermixed with companion plants, so people can get an idea of what to plant with hydrangeas. That's on one side of the path, and on our side, it's all the individual cultivars. So it's a great place to learn about hydrangeas. Our mission as a hydrangea society is to learn everything we can about hydrangeas and then to share it.
Because really, everybody just gets so happy when they see hydrangeas at the Cape. That's why we have taken you through 3 very beautiful and different gardens at the Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival, sponsored by the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce. Yes. And thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm very excited to know that you are the author of the 2 hydrangea books I have on my coffee table.
Great.
That's so exciting.
I'm happy about that.
Thank you, I bet. Thanks. We had a wonderful day visiting the gardens that we visited. We learned a lot about hydrangeas, but now we're at my very favorite florist in the whole wide world, Verde Florist. I am with Jeff Sawyer, whose husband's name is Tom. I am with Jeff, who's the owner, and she is going to do a fabulous hydrangea arrangement for us. But first, I want to ask you a question. Sure. How'd you get in this business?
That's a good question. I really got into this, I think, when I was a kid growing up with my grandparents. They were always interested in flowers, and I tagged along, and after 24 years in the financial services industry, I retired. I thought, I'm gonna do what I really like, and it was flowers. So I came across this study when I was doing research for our business. And I came across a study from Rutgers College, and what they found was that upon receiving flowers, one's mood is elevated for up to 3 days. And we've talked about how we really believe that.
I really believe
and that there's energy in flowers, and it really helps, not only when you send them, but when you receive them. Your mood is elevated.
Absolutely. I received flowers from you last week, and I'm still excited to have it. So what are you doing right now?
So what I'm doing right now is I'm making a little bit of a nest. This is called salal or lemon leaf. And a lot of people will do either, some type of material to make a nest to hold your flowers in place. We'll use a lemon leaf or some type of greens, as you see here.
I always wondered if you could take greens from your garden and use that to do it. Okay.
You can use Andromeda is one of my favorite. It's a shrub, but this is lemon leaf. So I've kind of made my nest, if you will. And now we're going to use some hydrangea. We have all sorts of hydrangea. Hydrangea comes from everywhere. Everyone thinks it's, seasonal. It's seasonal here on the Cape.
I mean, it's not just only grown on Cape Cod?
It's not. It's in South America. These come from everywhere, all across the world. So I'm going to use different colors of blue, which is probably one of our favorites here on the Cape. Blue, whites, and greens. I don't know if you can see them. These are called mini green hydrangea.
So those stay green all the time?
They do. They're that neat kind of limey green that we love.
Love it.
These are a little bit a darker blue hydrangea, and then these are the lighter blue. The thing that's really interesting this summer on the Cape is the different colors of our hydrangea. I don't know if you've noticed
I
that.
have. People have been talking about it.
Yeah, well, you must have noticed that on the festival or whatever.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, I should probably show you this. Just by virtue of the name, hydrangea, they need to be hydrated. So a lot of times what happens is, everybody will say, oh, I don't want hydrangea because they don't stay, they die quickly. They really don't. What happens is that stem is getting clogged up. So what we do is we try to cut them in a V. So I'm going to take it like this. This way probably better. Cut it one way, then another. And what I end up with is a maximum amount of surface that can pull water up to the blossom. So that's what I'm doing there.
Look at this, it's gorgeous.
So you could do this with the hydrangea in your yard. Just grab a bunch of them, and always, what we find is that folks always cut too short, cut longer,
and then you can
always cut it
down,
after.
Right? Look, I'm helping.
You can help,
Yeah.
help.
You.
And I always think the more the better. This looks so much better.
Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at that. Is that beautiful?
And we just keep turning it around.
Looking at it and decide where you want to put one.
And you could really use, you can use anything from your garden. This will be, these are all colors that we have right now.
Well, I just want to say that Jeff and her staff does, it's gorgeous, a lunch and learn series on a variety of Wednesdays in the summer and even in September, right?
Right. This next one is this coming Wednesday, the 19th, and it's going to be on our 10 most favorite flowers, and you'll just have to come and see where hydrangea fall in our 10 most favorite flowers.
I would think it would be #1, but I heard I wasn't right. Jeff, thank you
you're welcome,
so much.
Betsy.
This is gorgeous, and happy Hydrangea Festival, and we hope you'll join us for our next show coming up in August. Thanks again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.